What's your name?
Neymar,
How old are you?
12.
Do you believe that you have a future in football?
Yes, I believe.
See blood.
Ow. That is gonna really hurt. And to be fair,
One of the most tragic stories in modern football belongs to Neymar. He wasn't just playing the game, he was creating magic on the pitch. Kids everywhere argued about Ronaldo versus Messi. But deep down, everyone wanted to play like Neymar. He was the kind of player who truly made people fall in love with the game. The one who made matches unforgettable. Arguably the only player of his generation who ever came close to the legacy of the two greatest. The one who broke into the Ballon d'Or top 10 while still playing for Santos. But as it so often happens, immense talent came with a difficult character and an alarming tendency for injuries, a rare mix of pure genius and inner conflict that ultimately led to his downfall. Alright, with that in mind, let's go back to the beginning. In 2008, Neymar signed his first professional contract with Santos. The massive release clause immediately scared off many buyers, but not all of them. Manchester United, Real Madrid, the Giants were ready to do anything to get the young Brazilian, and Madrid had already reached a preliminary agreement with him, but it didn't start there. March 8, 2009 became a key date in Neymar's career, his first appearance for Santos. He came on for Mauricio Molino in a match against Oeste, and just a week later he scored his first goal, with Mogi Marim becoming the first victim of the talented Brazilian. In the spring of 2010, Neymar won his first senior trophy, the Sao Paulo State Championship, and was also named the best player of the tournament. On April 15th, he did something unbelievable, scoring 5 goals in a single Copa do Brasil match against Guarani. Santos won the trophy, and Neymar finished as the competition's top scorer with 11 goals. By that point, Chelsea made an offer of 20 million, then 26 million, but Neymar unexpectedly stayed at Santos. "You can't be happy with money alone," he would say later, which sounds ironic hearing it from Neymar now. But things weren't smooth. In September 2010, a scandal erupted when Neymar publicly criticized head coach Dorival Jr. for not letting him take a penalty. The club punished Neymar, but fired the coach. Neymar was the star, the key asset. Spoiler, 88 million euros. Unofficially, some say it was closer to 120 million. Soon another incident surfaced, as the media claimed Neymar and teammates celebrated a win with sex workers. The Santos president was furious and insisted it was an attempt to push the star out of Brazil faster. But football eventually put everything in its place. In 2011, Neymar helped Santos win the Copa Libertadores, scored in the final, and was named the best player of the tournament. Everyone wanted him again: Chelsea, Juventus, Barcelona, Real Madrid, and right in that moment, Neymar did something incredible. Against Flamengo, he dribbled through the entire defense and scored a goal he compared to Pelé's legendary strikes. That goal earned Neymar the FIFA Puskas Award. 2012 became the next turning point. He reached 100 professional goals. The media reported Barcelona had already agreed on a transfer, paying part of the buyout in advance. On March 8th, he scored a hat-trick against Internacional. On March 30th, he scored another 3 and passed Robinho for goals scored for Santos. On April 26th, in a Copa Libertadores match, fans threw an object at him from the stands. Neymar went down and lost focus for a moment, but then got back up and kept playing. He finished the 2012 season on top, South American Player of the Year, a Ballon d'Or candidate, a star European clubs kept fighting over. In November, he signed a new contract with Santos, but it was obvious his days in Brazil were numbered. On May 26, 2013, he said goodbye to Santos. Neymar's first appearance for Barcelona was more symbolic than significant. On July 30, 2013, he played 11 minutes in a friendly against Lechia and went off. A formal debut. The real introduction came later. In August, in the Joan Gamper Trophy, Barcelona destroyed Santos 8-0. Neymar got an assist to Fabregas, and for the first time, the crowd truly singled him out. A week later, he scored his first goal, even if it wasn't official. August 18th was his first La Liga game. No goals, but you could feel his moment was close. He proved it quickly. In the Spanish Super Cup against Atletico, he came off the bench and scored a crucial away goal, the one that won the trophy. Then on October 26th, in his first El Clasico, He scored and assisted in a 2-1 win that felt like his arrival. The fall and winter of 2013 became his true rhythm. Goals against Betis, a brace against Real, a Champions League hat-trick against Celtic. He also became the first player ever to score hat-tricks both in the Copa Libertadores and in the Champions League. His first injury came in winter, but by February he was scoring again. In spring he scored against Celta and Atletico in the Champions League. A goal against Atletico didn't save Barca. They went out, and in the Copa del Rey final against Real, he hit the post at a key moment with the score at 1-2. The season ended without major trophies, but with 5 goals and 12 assists. He adapted. He showed what he could do. The next step was coming. In summer 2014, Luis Suarez joined the team. With Messi and Neymar, they formed what later became known as MSN. At first it was unstable. Suarez was suspended, Barca lost to Real, and the team searched for rhythm. But in autumn, everything started to click. On September 13, Neymar scored a brace against Atletico. 2 weeks later, a hat-trick against Granada. On September 30th, he scored against PSG in the Champions League. On October 25th, he scored in El Clasico again, though Barca lost that match. In December, his goal helped beat PSG and win the Champions League group. 2015 began with a run of key games. In February, he scored against Atletico and got a brace against Villarreal in the Copa del Rey. In March, he played his 300th club match. In April, he scored a free kick against Sevilla and netted an important away goal against PSG. In the second leg at Camp Nou, he scored twice and helped Barca go through. That goal also became Barcelona's 1,000th in European competitions. And Neymar became the second Brazilian after Jardel to score more than 10 goals in both the Champions League and the Copa Libertadores. May 9 marked his 50th goal for Barca. May 12 brought a brace in Munich against Bayern and a place in the Champions League final. On June 6, Neymar became a Champions League winner. In the final at Berlin's Olympic Stadium, Barcelona beat Juventus 3-1. Neymar was one of the best players on the pitch. He finished the tournament with 10 goals, joint top scorer alongside Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. Barcelona completed the treble, La Liga, the Cup, and the Champions League. Neymar scored the last goal of the campaign, the perfect ending to the whole journey. Messi, Suarez, and Neymar scored 122 goals together. MSN became a symbol of a new attacking wave without fixed roles, built on movement, interchangeability, and chemistry. Neymar transformed from the dribbling newcomer into one of the 3 pillars of the team. He didn't just fit in, he became part of a system that looked different without him. Then came November 21st, a day that entered history forever. El Clasico at the Santiago Bernabeu. Neymar was again at the center, scoring and delivering a genius assist to Iniesta, becoming the main architect of Real's humiliation on their own ground. The final score, 4-0, sounded like a sentence. A week later, he did it again with 2 goals against Real Sociedad. In December came the first big triumph of the season, winning the Club World Cup, with Barcelona comfortably beating River Plate 3-0 in the final. In spring, Neymar kept winning fans over. His goal brought a tough away win over Las Palmas. Then, he opened the scoring in the decisive Champions League match against Arsenal. But, in the quarterfinals, Barcelona stumbled against Atletico and went out. The season's ending was bright and victorious. On May 14th, Barcelona clinched the La Liga title by beating Granada in the decisive match. A week later, in a dramatic Copa del Rey final against Sevilla, Neymar delivered the finishing blow, scoring the deciding goal in the 120th minute. The numbers were impressive: 49 matches, 31 goals, 20 assists. A scorer and a creator, a champion and a cup winner. In summer 2016, Neymar extended his Barcelona contract until 2021. Salary, €32.5 million per year. Star conditions, star status. Everyone expected him to become Barca's next leader, maybe still in Messi's shadow, but Neymar was already looking at that shadow differently. The 2016-17 season started with another show, but the whole season revolved around one date, February 14th, 2017, the Champions League round of 16 second leg against PSG. Everyone said it was impossible, everyone except Barca, and especially Neymar. Up to the 88th minute, Barca were still going out, 3-5 on aggregate. And then the show began. First a free kick, then a penalty, then in the 95th minute, a ball into the box, finished by Sergi Roberto. The comeback, 6-1. The the brightest match in Champions League history. The next day, all the headlines were about Leo. All the posts about Messi standing on the advertising board in front of the crowd. But the goals and the decisive actions at the end belonged to Neymar. He saved that game. He made the difference. And maybe right then, something changed inside him. He understood that even if you're the best on the pitch, it doesn't always get noticed when a legend is next to you. Maybe that night, a thought finally sounded clearly. Enough being part of the great trio. It's time to be first. Across his Barcelona career, 186 matches, 105 goals, 59 assists. Whatever people say, he left a mark in goals, trophies, and history, and in the feeling that he was ready for more. 2017 arrived, and the football world froze. What happens next? In August, Brazilian lawyers made a second attempt to activate the clause. 222 million euros, an enormous record that seemed impossible. Barcelona panicked. La Liga was furious. President Javier Tebas threatened legal action at every level, from UEFA to Swiss tribunals. But PSG's Qatari owners weren't backing down. They saw Neymar as the new king of football. 45 million euros a year, the main face of the team. Familiar faces in the dressing room, Dani Alves and Lucas Moura. But most importantly, a chance to escape the shadow. No more trio with Messi and Suarez. Now he was the main figure, the one who would lead PSG to Champions League glory. Barcelona fought desperately. Complaints about financial fair play, the famous Piqué statement, he's staying. Even Messi personally tried to change Neymar's mind. Journalist Ivan San Antonio recalled how, at a hotel in New Jersey, Leo spoke to him directly, "You want the Ballon d'Or? I'll make it happen." But Neymar had already decided. There was no turning back. 222 million euros, one signature, and he became the most expensive footballer in history. You can only wonder what he was thinking in that moment. Maybe something like, "Paris is my chance. I'll step out of Messi's shadow, become the main man, win everything. They'll remember me forever." Time passed, and now the main question is whether those dreams came true. I can't give a definite answer, but they collided with brutal reality. In the summer of 2017, just as Neymar was preparing to shine at PSG, the club introduced another superstar newcomer, 18-year-old Kylian Mbappé. Even then, he was called the future of world football, and part of the attention Neymar craved instantly shifted to someone else. At first, their relationship worked. They respected each other, found a quick connection on and off the pitch. Neymar affectionately called Kylian the golden boy, predicted a great future, invited him to dinner. But over time, a cat ran between them. Mbappé started getting irritated by Neymar's temperament and arrogance. Neymar felt the Frenchman got too many privileges, a local star, the Sheikh's favorite, with the right passport. Eventually it went so far that they stopped even greeting each other. Neymar demonstratively ignored Mbappé in training, and Mbappé responded in kind. Years later, in 2025, Neymar tried to explain it, saying, "No, he didn't annoy me. But when Messi arrived, I think Kylian got a little jealous. We had a small argument. He didn't want to share me with anyone." That's how it started. But before the Mbappé drama, Neymar was genuinely brilliant. In his first PSG season, he posted insane numbers, 28 goals and 17 assists in Ligue 1, in about half of the possible playing time. But his talent increasingly ended up in the shadow of the medical room. Over 7 years in Paris, he missed time with injuries 25 times. The Sheikhs clearly didn't expect their most expensive star to spend so much time off the pitch. And it wasn't only Mbappé. PSG's dressing room was chaos, and Neymar had to fight to be number one. Remember the episode with Cavani? In autumn 2017, they argued over who would take a penalty right on the field. Dani Alves even tried to interfere to get the ball and hand it to Neymar. But the stakes were bigger than just goals. There was a bonus system at the club. Finishing as Ligue 1 top scorer brought an extra 1 million euros. Every set piece wasn't just a chance to score, it was a chance to earn. And again, remember Neymar once said, "You can't be happy with money alone." I'm not implying anything, just don't forget that line. The tension only grew. Neymar became more nervous and snapped at teammates. Once in training, he shoved an 18-year-old Ismail Garbi. Ismail didn't respond. Everyone else was shocked by the behavior of a 30-year-old star. It felt like Paris, the place that promised Neymar glory and a Ballon d'Or, was turning into his football nightmare. 2 years after the big PSG move, Neymar started thinking about a return to Barcelona. Josep Bartomeu, then Barca's president, fueled rumors hinting he wanted to bring Neymar back to please Messi, Piqué, and Suarez, but according to the BBC, it was mostly public theater. Bartomeu understood the transfer was unrealistic and used the situation to win fans' sympathy and keep team leaders happy. Meanwhile in Paris, Neymar found a new enemy, Leonardo, PSG's sporting director, who returned in summer 2019 from Milan. He openly criticized the Brazilian in the press. Their relationship turned into a cold war. Neymar even stopped greeting the boss. Leonardo demanded Neymar publicly say he was staying, but got only a cold stare in response. And that was only the beginning. Even with Luis Enrique, his former Barca coach, Neymar managed to ruin relations. In 2023, when Enrique took over PSG, he made it clear he didn't see the Brazilian in his plans. According to L'Equipe, one of Enrique's conditions was getting rid of Neymar. However, sports advisor Luis Campos convinced Enrique to take Neymar on the preseason tour in Japan, basically to find buyers, and in August, they appeared. Al Hilal came with an offer that couldn't be ignored. At the same time, PSG fans were already gathering under Neymar's windows in Paris, chanting for him to leave. Fate was making it clear the PSG time was over. On August 15, 2023, the media reported the news. PSG's star was moving to Al Hilal. And then, it went crazy. Neymar bought a penthouse in Dubai for $54.5 million, with an elevator for cars. The press wrote he wanted a mansion with 25 bedrooms and 3 saunas, a private jet, a garage that looked more like a luxury car exhibition, Bentley Continental GT, Aston Martin DBX, Lamborghini Huracan, and others, a Mercedes with a driver ready to jump at any moment at Neymar's request. These were the news about his Saudi period, and honestly, as a content creator, it's sad that this is basically all you can say about his time at Al Hilal. In 2024, he played only 42 minutes, but earned more than many footballers make in their entire careers. His world had long stopped revolving around football, CS:GO, parties, expensive cars, gold, poker, sheikhs, endless injuries, and, I hope, the bitterness of lost greatness. That's what his life turned into. Bad? Definitely not. I'm sure he's a happy man with a mountain of money. But quoting Neymar himself, money doesn't buy happiness. A couple of years earlier, he was fighting over free kicks, pressuring teammates, negotiating a new PSG deal worth €45 million a year, and now he's just vibing. Arguing about his talent is pointless. He was a genius. But why did he become a football pensioner by age 30? When did everything go wrong? In Paris? In Barcelona? Or was it the injuries that stopped him from fully realizing his talent? 99% of footballers don't even dream of the heights Neymar reached. He was part of the legendary Barcelona of 2014-15, stood on the Ballon d'Or podium, spent almost a decade as the main star of a country where football is a religion. A fantastic career for a guy who never fully figured out the most important rules of the game, and a tragedy for a talent on the scale of Messi or Pelé. Every time you talk about Neymar, you have to choose. Admire his brilliant achievements or mourn the opportunities he never fulfilled. I choose the second, because I still believe he could have achieved much more.